The cold, sterile walls of the Imperial warship Resolute reverberated with the hum of engines, its silhouette looming in the depths of space. A giant, a weapon, and a reminder that the Galactic Empire was omnipotent. The Empire, having lost its supremacy on Earth, had extended its claws to the far reaches of the galaxy. Now, humanity found itself struggling against their might. But among them, there was one who stood resolute. General Lysander Quinn, the commander of Earth's final military defense fleet, stared at the star-filled void through the observation deck. The Empire had made a mistake. A costly one. A mistake that would cost them more than they could ever anticipate. The alien assassin. It had been a quiet month, perhaps the calm before the storm. Or so she thought. Lysandra's mind, ever sharp, always alert, noticed the strange transmissions from deep space. Her sensors pinged erratically, detecting a foreign object closing in on Earth's outer defenses. Unidentified vessel incoming, her communications officer reported. It's fast. On a direct trajectory for the capital. Lysandra's fingers tightened on the edge of the console. Her heart skipped a beat as she activated the comms. Do we have a visual? Seconds later, the screen flickered and the image of the approaching vessel appeared. It was sleek, black, and alien in its design, nothing like the Empire's typical crafts. Lysandra's mind raced. A new faction? Or perhaps an assassin sent by the Empire itself? The ship cut through space, its sudden deceleration almost impossible to track. No one had time to respond before it docked at Earth's orbit. An emergency signal flashed. I want an immediate interception team, Lysandra barked. Where's the point of contact? Her second-in-command, Colonel Tarek, quickly pulled up the data. A single life form, identified as Zrith, an alien species known for their ruthless assassination tactics. According to our intel, they were once hired mercenaries for the Empire. Lysandra's brow furrowed. And now they come to us? I'll authorize a full lockdown, General, Tarek said. We'll contain him, but Lysandra had other ideas. She had been preparing for an escalation for weeks. She wasn't going to sit back and let the Empire make the first move. No, Lysandra said. Prepare a counterattack. Full combat gear. We're going to send him a message. Directly. 2. First Blood. The assassin's arrival had sent a ripple through Earth's defense network. The world was on edge. Within minutes, Lysandra was suited up in her combat armor, a set of heavy plates reinforced with the finest Earth alloys. The steel gray of her uniform reflected the cold light of the command center. General, Colonel Tarek said, offering her a brief nod. I'll accompany you on this mission. Stay here, she replied curtly. Keep the fleet in reserve. Tarek hesitated but nodded, stepping back as Lysandra moved toward the transport bay. The assassin's ship had landed in a forgotten sector of the capital, an abandoned industrial zone used only for scraps. Lysandra moved quickly, her boots thudding against the cracked concrete as she approached the designated perimeter. She wasn't sure whether she was hunting or being hunted, but one thing was certain. This was a test, and the Empire had underestimated Earth's resolve. When she entered the building, the scent of decay and rust greeted her. She activated her helmet's night vision mode, scanning the vast room. In the center, the assassin stood, a figure cloaked in shadows, its body sleek and inhuman. The Zrith were known for their ability to blend into their environment, masters of stealth and manipulation. You're far from home, Lysandra said, her voice steady but cold. But I can assure you, Earth is not a place for your kind. The figure twitched, its head snapping toward her. With lightning speed, it drew 2 curved blades, the blades humming softly as they sliced the air. Lysandra raised her weapon, a pulse rifle, and fired. The first shot missed, the second one grazed the assassin's shoulder. The Zrith was faster than she had anticipated, using its agility to vanish into the shadows. It was playing with her. A tense silence filled the room. Then, without warning, the assassin lunged from behind, aiming a blade for her neck. Lysandra spun on her heels just in time, bringing her rifle up to block the attack. The impact of the blade against her weapon sent a shockwave through her body. She staggered back, but she wasn't done. The blade came down again, this time aimed at her chest. She sidestepped, firing point-blank. The pulse shot struck the Zrith in the abdomen, sending it crashing against the wall. For a moment it lay still. Lysandra approached cautiously, her weapon raised. But before she could finish it, the assassin twitched, hissing in pain. It pushed itself off the ground, blood oozing from its wound. And then, in a final desperate move, it activated a small device on its wrist. A distortion rippled through the air, and before Lysandra could react, the assassin disappeared. 3. The response. The Zrith assassin had left behind a message, a single object embedded in the wall, a blood-stained insignia of the Galactic Empire. The message was clear, they were coming. Lysandra stood before the insignia, her heart racing. The Empire had escalated, but she wouldn't wait for them to strike first. In the days that followed, Lysandra did what the Empire feared most. She took the fight to them. Through covert operations, she established a small fleet, silent and deadly. She gathered intelligence, created alliances with factions that had previously been neutral, and developed new weapons and technologies that would tip the balance in Earth's favor. But there was one final statement she had to make. The Empire needed to understand that Earth would not kneel. The next move was hers. 4. The heads. General Lysandra Quinn had always been a tactician. She understood that in order to break an empire, you had to strike at its heart. And what better way to show the Empire the cost of underestimating Earth than by sending them a message they would never forget? The fleet, with Lysandra at the helm, entered the Empire's orbit without warning. As their warships entered the atmosphere, her voice echoed through the communication channels. "Empire of the Stars," she said, her voice unyielding. "You sent your assassin to kill one of us. Now I send you the proof of what happens when you threaten our people. Your mercenaries are nothing compared to what Earth can bring." The enemy warship, the Ether, was just coming into view when the first transmission arrived. The message was grotesque, a series of vid feeds of the Xrith assassin, now in pieces, his severed head resting on a cold metallic table. Behind it, a simple message in bold letters flashed across the screen. Not a warning, a promise. The Empire's response was swift, but they could never recover the power they had once wielded. Lysandra's actions had rattled their very foundation. The return of the heads. The heads of the Empire were a symbol. They were proof that Earth had fought back and survived. Lysandra stood on the podium of the Capitol, watching as the people cheered. They had reclaimed their dignity, their independence. The assassin was but a small part of a larger message. As the days passed, whispers grew louder. Earth was no longer a mere pawn in a galactic game. Under the leadership of General Lysandra Quinn, the galaxy had learned the hard way that no empire, no matter how vast, was invincible.